employee of Charlotte Behavioral Healthcare, and I'm here today to share a recipe that is super simple and healthy with a little bit of decadence. It is a vegetable pot pie. So you can make this as simple as you'd like, or you can end up chopping vegetables that you have that you want to use up from your refrigerator. So I've gone ahead and done some chopping ahead of time, and I have an onion here that I've diced. I had some mushrooms and some asparagus, jalapeno, and then I have some garlic and some zucchini here. So we're gonna go ahead and move over to the stove and start sauteing.
Okay.
All right, so I am going to saute the vegetables, but I'm not going to use any oil. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a little bit of vegetable broth, but you can use water if that's what you have available to you. So I'm gonna pour a little bit of that in, and then I'm gonna add the chopped onion. And I'm gonna add my minced garlic here, and then saute that until the onion is translucent. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead while the onion and garlic was sauteing here in that stock. I chopped my potatoes and they're ready to add. I'm going to go ahead and add about 1/3 cup of flour, and this is going to be like our thickening agent. So I'm going to stir that in here, and then I'm going to cook that. I'm going to add a little bit of stock just so that it thickens up into a nice kind of like a roux, but there's no fat in this, so. And incorporated. If you cook it like that, then you won't taste that flour, won't have that flavor. So once I have that done and I've let that cook for a couple minutes, we're going to go ahead and add 2 cups of vegetable stock. And 1 cup of milk. I'm using oat milk. You can use soy, almond, any milk that you have on hand. This is a dairy-free recipe. So I'll put that in. Now you should normally put that in a little bit slower. You kind of want to whisk while you're doing that. Just for the sake of time today, I kind of went ahead and added that all at once. And then I'm just going to whisk this until there aren't any large lumps. It's going to be a little bit lumpy because, of course, there's some onion and garlic in there. So that looks pretty good. I'm getting the stuff that's stuck on the bottom off. Okay, and I'm going to throw in 2 bay leaves with that and let that cook in with those potatoes, and then we'll remove them later. So I'm going to go ahead, the potatoes have been cooking for a little bit. I'm going to add a few more spices, just stir that up. So I'm going to add some thyme. Now you can add whatever you like, whatever your family likes. In fact, if you guys like sweet potatoes, you can add those. I'm adding some rosemary as well. And I don't measure, I just kind of eyeball it. And I'm going to add a little bit of crushed red pepper, just a couple little flakes there. Seeds, and then stir that up again, and then continue letting those potatoes cook. Our potatoes are boiling here and they're just about finished, so I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of the vegetables that I have. Now I showed you what I chopped up because that's what I happen to have in my fridge, but you could easily use whatever you or your children, your family likes, and I even have some frozen things here that you could have used. So I used this in the other pot pie that I pre-cooked beforehand. I used half a bag of these beans and carrots, and you could use anything else just frozen straight from, and you're going to add that in. I'm going to add these items though instead. And so I have some asparagus chopped up, and that zucchini. If you wanted to make it more winter-like, you could make, you know, like a heavier with the potatoes and some squash maybe and some carrots. And if you wanted to do more of a spring one like this, you could add the asparagus and mushrooms and even put some green onions in here. Just gonna throw it all in. I don't really measure. I think I wrote down like 3 cups of vegetables, but got more or a little bit less, that's fine too. Stir that up. And the sauce has thickened up nicely as well. And then we're gonna go ahead and get ready, and we're gonna cook this for a couple more minutes, and then we'll throw it in our pie pan with our crust. Okay, so now we have our pot pie filling here. It's pretty much done. I'm going to go ahead and pull those bay leaves out. Don't worry if you forget. Someone will get that in their dish, and you just pull it out and don't eat it. And then I'm going to take some pre-bought, store-bought, pre-made pie crust. And so this is going to be a little bit bigger, so I'm just going to cut it down. I'm just going to lay it in here and just kind of cut it. You could let actually I think I'm going to leave this up so it kind of does the whole side thing. Now the other one I made, I needed to cut it to the shape of the pan, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then we're going to go ahead and just put our filling right in here. Now this pan is a little bit smaller than I would typically have used. I would have used a big casserole. Have that with me today, so we're going to go ahead and put that in, and I have quite a bit left, so you could make another little one with some of the leftover pie crust. If you didn't want to use pie crust on the bottom and top, you can just put this in the bottom and then put the pie crust on top, or some people like to use like store-bought or homemade biscuits. You can put those on the top too and then just cook. So I think this is going to be a little bit bigger than we need, so I'm just going to kind of cut some of this off. And then I'm going to cut an X in there so there's a place for the steam to escape. And then I'm just going to kind of fit it on there, pinch it together a little bit here. And then it's ready for the oven. So you're going to bake this at 400 for about 40 minutes or so. And when it comes out, it looks like this. And so we'll go ahead and just scoop some of this out into a serving bowl. Pull that out. This one had that top and bottom crust, so you've got a little bit of crust with every bite. You can see how nicely that thickened up, that sauce. And then I would go ahead and add some fresh herbs, so you can use whatever you have on hand. And I have some cilantro here. I'll just pick some of that off and chop that up. So we'll go ahead and sprinkle some of that the fresh herbs on top, and there you go. Delicious dinner for your family. Remembering to use whatever vegetables you have that your family likes, that you enjoy, and get your kids involved in the kitchen. Have them chop, have them add it to the pot, have them set the table, and enjoy a family meal together. Thank you.